This video is sponsored by J and J Styles on Facebook and on Instagram. Check out j-jstyle.com. Again, j-jstyle.com.
It's another Raw video from your favorite YouTube scout, Draftrawthentic. Yes, I'm finally here making another video. And like I said, it's a Raw one, so there will be no edits. Anyway, this is not the usual setup that I'm in. I'm in a different house, obviously. I'm actually not even in the same state. I am in Cleveland, Ohio, visiting family. And speaking of family, today is actually a special little interview type of show, episode, whatever you want to call it. I have with me my brother, Panthers superfan, Jasper.
Yeah! Oh yeah, I'm here, Carolina. You know I love you, Carolina. Oh yeah. Let's get
I don't know how he became a Panthers fan from Baltimore, but alright, anywho, first of all, Jay, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, doing wonderful.
And if you hear me say Jay, that's his nickname, okay? I know I called him a Jasper, but Jay is his nickname. So, you got this new website popping off that you started, your own company, JJ Style. Can you give us a little bit more details about JJ Style?
Alright, JJ Styles was actually formed this year, 2018, if you're watching this at a later date. And it is a online clothing store, might I add. We have men's shirts, women's shirts, and we also have some baby gear. We have pants for both men and women, not a lot yet, but we're of course still growing. Right now, we have two promotions that's going on. One, I believe, might have already finished. No, actually it has not. But the other one is definitely right on the page. If you go on, you can get 20% off your first purchase with your entire purchase. And that promo code is Rams. That's for our cousin.
Okay,
So-
yeah. Our cousin Michael got drafted by the Rams in the 5th round.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all about that. I just want to get to Carolina real quick.
Hold on. So you got, let me get this straight. You got a promo code for Rams. That's pretty good. We need to get one for Draftrawthentic.
We'll get one for him.
We need to get one for Draftrawthentic.
I'll put something out there. If you go on, like, share, follow the page on Facebook, you'll definitely see something pop up very soon. Actually, probably the time that my daughter was actually supposed to be born.
Yes, that's the reason why I'm visiting also. His daughter was born like a month and a half early. Yeah,
Yeah,
about a month early. So yeah, she's upstairs, asleep. About to terrorize about 11 p.m. About to be awake again.
Yeah, she gonna be she a night owl. She is definitely a night owl.
So anyway, I don't want to waste so much time. You know, we've already caught up and talked and everything. So pretty much this video will be a combination of an interview, and you will get a draft breakdown for
The Carolina Panthers.
Exactly. So the way how it's going to go is I'm going to ask him a question about the players that the Panthers pick. He's going to give his thoughts of what he may have read about any of the players, or just what he thinks about it, how that player is going to help the team, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. He doesn't have to do all of that stuff, but just, what comes to mind. And then I'm going to give you, and also him, a draft breakdown for each and every player that I named to him. And we also going to get a little bit into some undrafted free agents. Maybe just one. Undrafted. Probably just one. Yeah, well, I'll do just one. I won't go, but Anyway, so let's just get it started. So, in the first round, the Carolina Panthers selected DJ Moore. Jay, how you feel about that?
Ooh. See, my boy Steve Smith said it best. Carolina didn't replace him fully until now. Talk about a pick. Man, they needed somebody just like Steve Smith all over again. They needed a young guy that could do exactly what he did way back when and terrorize the defense. The backfield will never see this coming. Or they will. They just won't be able to stop it.
Okay. So that's what you think about DJ Moore?
Oh, yeah.
You think he's going to be a good pick?
He's going to be an excellent pick.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's just get into the draft breakdown. Let's start with DJ Moore. Now, DJ Moore, yeah, you're kind of right. So, anywho, if you've seen any videos that I've ever done and I talked about DJ Moore, one of the biggest things that I talked about was how I think that he's one of the best receivers coming out in the draft. And even though I don't have him as the number one, I had him at least as the number two. Now, it's up and down. It's a toss-up when it comes to that. Because I had Courtland Sutton as my number one and DJ Moore was number two. But I could have easily been persuaded to have DJ Moore at number one because he could do a little bit more. Courtland Sutton just kind of has more of the size that you look for in number one. But DJ Moore, what he carries is everything else besides the huge size. Now, in terms of weight, he's like, maybe 5 or 10 pounds less than Courtland? And he's about at least 3-4 inches shorter. So, that's a huge thing right there. For that. He's built like a running back. When I watched him, he reminded me of Golden Tate and also the legend
Steve Smith.
He reminded me of both of them combined, a combination. Golden Tate reminded me of Steve Smith. So,
that's actually Golden Tate's idol.
Oh, really?
In terms of football.
I didn't know that.
His favorite receiver was Steve Smith.
Well, there you have it. I don't know who DJ Moore's favorite is, but if it is Steve Smith, then it shows a lot. This guy, 6'1", 210 pounds, catches almost everything that you throw to him. He doesn't catch every single ball. Like, he doesn't have the best hands, but his hands are not terrible or just god-awful. If I was to rate it from like a 1 to 10, I'll give him like a 7. So it's not bad. It's not average, but it's not bad. It's pretty darn good. It's right where it should be. Then he also has the speed, and he has the run after catch. You can't get any better when you got a guy that can do all that stuff. So there you have it. Now with the second round pick, the Carolina Panthers selected Dante Jackson, LSU cornerback.
I would say that was a definite need. They got rid of, what was his name? If I can remember his name right now, it'd be great.
Was it the young rookie?
Curtis Fuller? As a DB?
I don't think he was that. Was he that big of a?
He wasn't that big. He was okay.
They got rid of I think one of their stars was Darryl Worley.
Did they trade him?
I think they released him.
Oh no, okay, yeah, they released him.
I think he was a starter.
So like with that, they definitely took care of a need that they needed badly, especially when they were so dumb with getting rid of Josh Norman. Like, you're my brother, man. You my brother. But yeah, like that's something that they took care of as well. So,
okay,
I think it was an alright pick.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you wasn't as happy with. You're happy because of the need, but you wasn't as excited when you set the leg.
Yeah.
And the reason being is, I don't know if you watched any of my videos where I did talk about Dante Jackson, but when it comes to mother-freaking Dante Jackson, he's not a bad player. To me, he's just, obviously he's a little bit undersized. If you have heard about this dude. He's a little undersized, about 5'10", about 175 pounds. That's very small.
Yeah.
Now, what he does carry is a lot of speed. What he does carry a little bit is a lot of swagger as well. So I can't fault him as a cornerback. But I will have to say this. I don't think he's as good as what people that media may think he actually is. He seems like just one of those guys that we've seen plenty of times over and over again. The D'Angelo Halls of the world. D'Angelo Hall should have been one of the best corners ever, and there's a reason why he wasn't. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some other names.
Tracy Porter?
Tracy Porter was kind of an undrafted guy, but I you know what I mean? That's like close to it. There was a guy that was drafted out of Houston, Texas some years ago that had a bunch of speed, and I think he played at South Carolina. His name was Dante something or Dute or whatever his name was. But whatever, he's not even in the league anymore. But you see these smaller corners that have all this speed, and they're saying, oh yeah, this guy's going to be a great player, and he turns out not to be. Justin Gilbert is another guy, even though he was a little bit bigger in weight, but just another speed guy that didn't really give you anything. Trey Waynes is another player that played with the Vikings, and it wasn't until this year where he actually had a pretty good year. So over and over again, you get these smaller guys, all this speed, and you think they're going to be good, and they actually turn out not to be as good. I'm not saying it's a bad pick, but it's not a pick that I would really like, oh, yay, they picked him. No, I wouldn't do that. But I think that he could probably give you some nickel corner situations, and in a pinch, if you really need him to be out there to play and stuff like that, I think he'll do it. But to be a regular starter for 16 games straight, I just don't think that's him. Not every pick is going to work out. So yeah. It is what it is. Now, in the third round, they picked up Rashawn Golden, safety from Tennessee. Did you read up anything about
I didn't read up about him. But just being a safety, that was a big need. Big need. Big need. So.
Yeah. Did y'all used to have Trey Boston? No, you know what? Y'all got rid of him.
Yeah. And
he went to the San Diego Chargers. Never mind. Let's forget that. But still, with Rashawn Golden, this is a guy that's kind of average to me. Nothing really stood out when I watched this tape. And I've said this plenty of times over and over again. When it came to a lot of the safeties this year, nobody stood out as much except for some of the top guys. Rodney Harrison from Alabama didn't even stand out to me, and he was considered the third best safety out of the whole class. There were some safeties later rounds and stuff like that I felt as though, oh yeah, he should be a pretty good player because of the activeness that he had on defense and the effort that he put forth. But overall, it just wasn't as great as like I thought it would be. So then, with their next pick, they had 2 4th-round picks, right? Now, with their first 4th-round pick, they chose Baltimore's own, but he played in Indiana, Ian Thomas, tight end. Did you read anything up
on Ian? I did a small search on Ian because we all know Greg Olsen. He's not going to be playing probably past this year for Carolina. So that was something that they definitely need to establish is a new starting tight end for the future. I'm not saying he's going to be the starter this year, but for the future, he could be potentially the starter, not unless they go on to draft and grab somebody else, or go into free agency and grab somebody else. So what I saw was sort of what we needed. He wasn't like Greg Olsen. He definitely was nowhere near, in my opinion. But it's the right step. It was definitely the right step.
Yeah. Okay. So, I just want to put it out there. We're about basically halfway through the draft for their picks. My brother, he doesn't, watch tape like I do. So, if he does not explain it like what he's seen on tape or anything like that, that's because, I do all the tape watching in the family when it comes to players. So, I just want to put that out there. So, anyway, when it comes to Ian Thomas, Indiana tight end, Baltimore's own. Athletic. Greatly athletic. So with the next pick, I'm playing. No, but he is very, very athletic. I just said that a bunch of times. And it's hard to say anything else about him because the thing is that as a blocker, it's not like it's not there yet. As a perennial pass catcher, someone that's just going to get a volume of catches, he doesn't have that neither. So this is a guy that he's kind of a project to where he's at a point where his career at best will be Martellus Bennett. Why I say Martellus? Martellus didn't start off good, but kind of ended his career off pretty good. Thinking of anybody else, any other tight ends that kind of was like that, I can't think of any. But that's what I see him as. Just a very, very athletic tight end that he just needs to learn the position. And with Greg Olsen there, Greg Olsen is going to teach him about life and different little nuances at the tight end position. But the thing you can't teach him is his instincts and how he's going to play the game. And what I mean when I say that is instincts, it's natural. It just comes like that. With players, sometimes, a team may draft a player and they may be an older veteran, but he can't teach him all the stuff that he can teach him. That kid has to learn that stuff on his own, too. So, when the game's on, you just have to know this stuff. We'll see when it comes to him, but it is what it is. So with their second, fourth round pick, they chose Marquise Hayes, pass rusher, Ole Miss. Did you,
I got 0 for him.
You got 0?
And actually, for their last, 4 picks that they had left, didn't watch anything on them. I just saw what positions they went to grab, and I was like, okay, that was a need. They really only grabbed needs. Carolina only drafted needs for this draft.
I guess pass rusher was a big. I guess you can say pass rusher was a big need. I mean,
they're gonna Johnson. Yeah, and Tommy Davis is.
Well, he's a linebacker.
Yeah, but he helped out with the pass rushing from time to time. He wasn't the pass rusher, but he helped out. Taking on blocks and everything. So yeah.
Okay. So when it came to Marquise Hayes, this dude. He was a pretty darn good pass rusher. But then that's about it. The thing about him is that he's such an undersized guy. And he's not undersized in height, he's undersized in weight. Excuse me, he's barely 240 pounds. So that's work that needs to be there. He's a guy that you probably would want to play at linebacker and not defensive end, unless you just want him to be a designated pass rusher. And that's where I think that his game will live on. Now, the problem with the NFL is that they don't think of nuance stuff when it comes to that, new age nuances. Where, why can't you just draft a guy to be a pass rusher and nothing else? They want you to be a pass rusher and then be able to stop the run too. Some guys just can't do that. They just can't. So, with him, it's like, that's what they need to do with him. But we'll see. We will see what happens. Now, with the next pick, this is where I'm surprised. But, like I said, my brother doesn't really watch college football like that anyway. They chose Maryland linebacker. And if you see a theme of some of these picks, Maryland player, a Baltimore player, and now another Maryland player, Jermaine Carter Jr. Need?
There was a need.
Y'all got who's it? Shaq Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got Thomas Davis, who said this is his final year. Y'all got Luke Kuechly.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Carter Jr., special teamer, middle linebacker, possible outside linebacker as well. I know Luke Kuechly, he can probably play all 3 linebacker positions.
Luke Kuechly can probably jump and play every position on defense. Period.
Yeah, but I mean, just to give a list, because you said, you didn't really watch. Yeah. So I'm going to just kind of just go into it. So, this linebacker, this was my most underrated linebacker in this draft. I thought he was going to go undrafted because his name never popped up on the two websites that I always talk about that where I try to, look at, different players and who came out and who's coming out and try to study those guys. And sometimes their names don't pop up, so I don't get to watch some of these players.
So how did you get the name?
Jermaine Carter Jr.? Because he plays in Maryland.
See?
Because he plays at Maryland? Like, how else am I get to? No, it is literally because he played at Maryland. I watch Maryland games, and he's the leader on defense. So it's like, it's crazy how he's one of the best Big Ten linebackers. He's a leader on defense. And it seemed like he wasn't even talked about. Now, the crazy thing is that the Panthers drafted him before another linebacker in this draft, and they drafted him in the 5th. Like I said, I thought maybe he was going to go undrafted, and I thought that would have been a travesty. Now he got drafted in the 5th, and I'm just like, yo, this is a great pick for him. Maybe they could have, if Micah Kaiser didn't get picked by the Rams, maybe it would have been Jermaine Carter Jr. But it wouldn't have been. It would have been Micah Kaiser. But overall, I felt as though with this guy, he's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got the tackling ability, the coverage ability. He's pretty much got a lot of things that you're going to like. And I think that a lot of Carolina Panther fans are definitely going to be surprised by how good he actually is. So, with their next pick, they actually chose another linebacker.
Okay.
7th round. Andre Smith, linebacker from University of North Carolina. Same thing. What I just said about Jermaine Carter. Now, not player, but...
Yeah. I'm guessing that was safety pick behind him, just in case. Hey, he gets hurt.
You got somebody else. Now, Jermaine Carter Jr. never really was hurt as much at Maryland, but... we all know how that goes in the NFL. You get to the NFL. You was never hurt in college. Get to the NFL. You hurt every year. It happens. I don't know why, but... Anywho, Andre Smith. Yeah, so let's go to the next pick. So, in the next pick, the 7th round pick is Kendrick Norton. No, I'm playing with y'all. So, with the Andre Smith pick in University of North Carolina, I just thought he was athletic. It's kind of saying like the Ian Thomas thing. I just thought he was very athletic. I didn't think he did anything well. I thought he did everything kind of average. I thought his tackle was kind of average. Sometimes he overruns plays. Sometimes he just straight up missed the tackle. I thought that he had good speed. You know what I mean? And that comes with the athleticism. His dropbacks were, average. I mean, it was nothing really special about him as a player. He's the type of dude that if you have him on a team, he learns a playbook. Someone gets hurt, you put him out there, and maybe you don't miss too much of a step. But he's one of those role player type of dudes. And Jermaine Carter could very well be a role player as well. But, it is what it is. I just think, Carter Jr. is definitely going to be a better player. But Andre Smith, to me, it's just special teams value. You pick a linebacker late round, pick a safety late round. Just special teams. That's all you really choose it for. So, but we'll see. You never know. 6th round picks turn out to be pretty good sometimes. We don't know. It's not a science. So then with their next pick, they chose Miami defensive tackle Kendrick Norton. Was defensive tackle really a need then?
Okay. It wasn't a true need. It really wasn't a true need. But it was like how Baltimore does. Get a safety pick for maybe next year, future type deal, because you never know, hey, do you still want to keep this guy that's above this player, or you want to go cheaper and probably get the same results? I mean, it really is a business, and money is always a factor. So y'all know how it goes with that. Mm-hmm. On business perspective, I'll give you that business analyst on that. So, yeah.
Well, talking about that pick in particularly, I didn't like what I saw on tape a lot of times. His running mate, Gosh, his name is actually slipping my mind. Because there's Chad Thomas at defensive end, and then there was a defensive tackle. His name just keeps slipping my mind, but I talked about that guy before in another video for team, and how good of a player he was at. His motor was just constant. Kendrick Norton, I didn't see that at all. I just saw a player that got washed out of plays so many times that just, he just was never there to actually make a play. To me, he's an average player, and that's the biggest reason why he's picked in the 7th round, obviously. But, in terms of future pick, maybe they saw something that they could work on him with. I could also say this. Sorry, a little sick. That I believe Star Lotulelei is going to be a free agent next year. I could be wrong about that or something, but I think that's another reason why you just get some assurance, a guy that you already have on the team that should know the playbook, and if he turns out to looking pretty good during training camps and stuff like that, then you already have your player, and you don't have to worry about drafting a defensive tackle next year. You can address another need if it comes to that. So overall, those are the draft picks. Those are the draft picks. So just give you that draft breakdown. I know that there's this one undrafted guy that you said his name once. And I told you, I said, you know what, that's going to be a pretty... It was a guy from Penn State.
Yeah, Was it Brendan Mahone?
Brendan Mahone.
The offensive lineman? Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan Mahone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was running down the list of names, and I said, Jay, yeah.
See, that was something that they should have taken care of, was the offensive line. Also, I only say that is because, Cam Newton, a big boy. He is a big boy. North trying to say the boy can play. But y'all, as Carolina Panthers fans and everyone that's in the Carolina Panthers corner, they know that if you protect this guy, he can really last longer than a Big Ben for the Steelers. Ben been playing for forever. We don't even know if this is technically going to be his last year or he going, do whatever. But that's what type of play that we should be getting from Cam Newton with, a better arm and fresher legs. Of course, he's younger.
Right.
So
I mean, it seems like, offensive line was probably the bigger need that they needed to address. I believe they lost Andrew Norwell. I think that was his name, guard. They picked up a couple of offensive linemen. Right? Yeah. Undrafted guys.
Yeah.
But that name stood out to me because I thought that he was one of the better players in this draft. And the reason why I say that is he played left tackle for Penn State. And I think that when I saw him on the prospect list, they had him listed as a guard. But at a left tackle, I was like, he's not that bad at left tackle. But I can understand the reason of maybe pushing him over towards guard because he's a little bit, not short, but just kind of maybe more stubbier. About 6'4", 320 pounds. And I think he has 33-inch arms or 32-inch arms or whatever. And you want 34-inch arms and you want at least 6'5". You know what I mean? But overall, I think that's a really, really good pick for them. Whether they do play him at left tackle, which could be a possibility, who knows, or if they do put him at guard where Norwell was, that's going to be a great situation for them. And they chose someone that, as an undrafted guy, I believe can start right away. So, anyway, looking at the draft, it's, at least just one undrafted guy. Where do you think the future of this team is at before we wrap this up?
All right, so... all in all, Carolina didn't really improve tremendously like I really wanted them to. Everyone wants their team to improve tremendously. But they didn't drop. they stayed where they are, and they are a playoff contender. They've always been a playoff contender team for a while. Of course, they're in the craziest division, so you never know who really going. But they're probably like the best team in that division. Yeah, they're definitely the best team in that division. The only team close to them would probably be the Falcons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, they didn't go up, they didn't go down, but they definitely took care of what they needed to take care of for the most part, other than the offensive line. But they got that during undrafted free agencies.
We'll see. Well, there you have it. I think the future of this team, with what the draft picks I've seen, it's going to be pretty solid. It's going to be okay. I don't think that they grabbed anybody that was going to be like super, super great. Maybe besides DJ Moore, undrafted guy Brendan Mahone, and also 5th round pick Jermaine Carter. But I think that all the rest of the guys are solid picks. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more draft breakdowns, please subscribe. If you didn't like what I or what this super fan, my brother Jasper, had to say about any of the Panthers players, please comment so we can debate, and please share this video so other people can see it and other people can debate with us. And we can just build this whole draft community. Once again, this is Draft Raw Authentic. I thank you for watching.
Goodbye.